Theory of change in meal. Have you ever wondered how organizations track the real impact of their programs? How do they know if their efforts are creating meaningful change? The answer lies in something called the theory of change. In this video, we will break down what theory of change is, how it guides monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning, and why it's crucial for program success. Let's dive in. What exactly is a theory of change? A theory of change is a visual and strategic roadmap that outlines how and why a program is expected to create change. Let's take an example. Imagine you're running a project to improve education in a rural area. Your team provides textbooks and trains teachers. But does that automatically mean students will perform better? Not necessarily. The theory of change helps you map out each step, ensuring that your inputs lead to the right outcomes and ultimately the desired impact. Theory of change is more than just listing activities. It identifies the assumptions behind each step and the risks that might prevent success. Let's move to the example. Let's say we assume that training of teachers will automatically improve student performance. But what if students don't have enough time to study at home due to household responsibilities? The theory of change helps us spot such gaps and adjust our approach. In short, theory of change is like a program blueprint. It lays out the logical connections between what we do and the impact we aim to achieve. Now, how does theory of change connect to meal? Theory of change helps in setting clear indicators for monitoring. For example, instead of just counting how many teachers were trained, we track whether their teaching methods have improved and whether students are performing better. Evaluation is all about answering, did we achieve what we set out to do? Theory of change provides a framework for this assessment, ensuring that we measure the right outcomes, not just activities. Donors, stakeholders, and communities want to know, how is the program making a difference? With a theory of change, we can clearly communicate the expected change and provide evidence of impact. Sometimes things don't go as planned. A theory of change allows us to reflect, where did we go wrong? What assumptions were incorrect? How can we improve? This continuous learning process strengthens future programming. Beyond meal, theory of change plays a crucial role in designing effective programs. Let's see how. Defining clear objectives. A strong theory of change ensures that everyone, project teams, partners, and donors, are aligned on the desired impact and how to get there. Identifying key interventions. Not all activities create equal impact. Theory of change helps prioritize the most effective strategies by showing their direct link to outcomes. Assessing risks and assumptions. Every project has underlying assumptions. For example, we might assume that giving farmers better seeds will improve crop yields, but what if they lack irrigation? Theory of change helps identify these risks early on. Now, let's connect all the dots from activities to real-world impact using a realistic example of a water sanitation project in a rural village. Greenfield is a rural village where the majority of people rely on a contaminated river for drinking water. This has led to high rates of waterborne diseases like cholera and diarrhea, especially among children. First, let's look at the inputs. These are the resources needed to start the project. For our water project in Greenfield Village, we have three main inputs. Firstly, funding from international donors. Then a dedicated team of engineers, health workers, and trainers. Then the water filtration systems that will provide clean drinking water. With these resources in place, we move on to the next step, activities. Now, activities. This is where the real work begins. Our team takes 3 key actions. Installing 10 clean water stations across the village. Training local community members to maintain these stations. running hygiene awareness campaigns to teach people about safe water usage. Great! Now that the activities are in motion, let's look at the immediate results, our outputs. Outputs are the direct, measurable results of our activities. After 6 months, we see 10 water stations successfully installed, 200 local residents trained in water system maintenance and hygiene, 500 households now have safe water storage containers. These are great early signs of progress. But what really matters is whether people are using the water stations. That brings us to our next step, the outcomes. Outcomes go beyond numbers. They tell us how people's behavior is changing. Over time, we observe 80% of villagers are now using the clean water stations instead of the river. Cases of waterborne diseases have dropped by 60%. The community is taking ownership. Trained members are maintaining the water system themselves. These are promising changes, but what about the long-term impact? Let's find out. Impact is the big picture, the lasting change in people's lives. After 2 years, the project has led to improved public health, fewer people are falling sick from contaminated water, reduced child mortality, infant deaths from diarrhea have dropped by 50%. A sustainable water system, because the community can now maintain it without outside help. This is the true measure of success, not just building infrastructure but creating lasting positive change. And that's how a simple water project, guided by clear planning and evaluation, transforms an entire community. But how do we ensure that every step connects to the final impact? That's where the theory of change comes in. Without a theory of change, this project might have only focused on installing water stations. However, by linking activities to outcomes and impact, the project ensures that clean water actually improves health and saves lives, not just provides infrastructure.
If you found this helpful, like and subscribe. Meal mine.